This tire fell off.
He was going too slow. I should have left more room.
Now it's time to throw a 12 bolt in this thing. I've had the rear end for this truck for probably a month now. Been planning on tossing it in there. Just didn't get around to it before the 10 bolt exploded. So yeah, so the rear end we're going with is a 2015 1500 rear end, 6 lug. It's got 323s. It's got a 9.5 inch ring gear, same as the old style 14 bolts, but it's a 12 bolt. The new trucks have a 12 bolt, so same size, just a little bit different. So yeah, we're gonna be tossing in this 06 Duramax 1500. So we got basically a Frankenstein build going on here. We got a 1500 single cab short bed, 1500 frame. We got an LBZ Duramax. We got a T56 Magnum, and we had a 10 bolt in the rear, but now we're going to the 9.5 12 bolt. So anyways, it's a whole thing. I figured the 10 bolt would probably explode, but wanted to do some burnouts for America, and we did that, but it didn't last. So yeah, we were ripping some donuts, and it was wheel hopping really bad the whole time. Second gear, and she let go. But we gotta load the truck up on the trailer, get it home, get it in the garage, and tear this rear end out so we can put that 12 bolt in there. Doggone it. Now I gotta jack the thing up, get the tire back in, and we'll hit it again. This is on the last axle that exploded. And then right here. Last time this axle did that, hit right here as well, and right here. This time it didn't really do any damage except for just fall off, so that's good. Let's push this thing all the way back in here, and one tire going up this trailer is not really doing great, but we'll get it.
Third try.
All right, let's pull this thing. And a month and a half later, here we are. 12 bolt is in the truck. 10 bolt that's broken is out of the truck. And I figured I'd give you guys a rundown on what it takes to put a 2015 12 bolt 9.5 inch rear end in 1500. Now I've been working on Quicksilver, fixing a few little things. I actually put a new turbo on it. The turbo was bad. And I fixed some exhaust leaks, a few here's and there's, and that truck's pretty much ready to go. So I figured it was time to jump on the LBZ truck because I've been dying to rip this thing, because I haven't really ripped this thing. I haven't really done much with it. Swapped the LBZ in there, the T56 Magnum, and broken axle, probably second time really driving it. I knew that was going to happen because it's a 10 bolt, so it's pretty weak. And I had some 20x12s on there with some pretty sticky tires, and well, you know what happened. Lucky for me, I went ahead and got a 12 bolt with a better gear ratio for the setup. It's actually got a 323 instead of the 342. We're gonna run a little bit bigger tire, so be able to run those gears out a little bit longer. We got the boys swapping the oil on the 110. They want to go rip that thing, so I told them better do an oil change. So they're doing an oil change on that, and I'm busting my butt on the LBZ truck. There wasn't a whole lot of information on the 12-bolt swap from a 2014 to 2018 1500 rear ends. They have the 6 lug like I have, but it's a 9.5-inch ring gear. Pretty sweet. So I figured I'd swap one in here and kind of go over what needs to be done, because I didn't know, if it would work. But I got the rear end in, and it's pretty basic. There's just a few things that you're gonna have to know. Let's dive right into it. We got our 12-bolt here. I had a drum brake 10-bolt, and the lines actually plug right in, from the drum brake to the brake calipers. My truck has a leaf under, so basically an axle flip to lower the truck. So what I did was I have this little adapter, made sure to weld everywhere to make this solid. And these are the 2015 rear end U-bolts here. Was able to reuse those. If you don't have an axle flip, you should be able to just put this setup in here without doing any of this. It's a very similar, I think it's within like a 1/4 inch widthwise difference for the mounting point, so it should work no problem there. Now, as far as the shock mounts, they also worked. They were not perfectly lined up, but actually pretty dang close, so they were able to make work. Didn't have to modify those. We got our 12-bolt diff cover, and I broke a freaking bolt. Don't put these too tight, or else you will do the same. So this is the brake fluid block that goes on the top of the diff, connects both of these sides together, and this is the factory 10-bolt setup. These are the 10-bolt lines. Like I said, they bolt right up there, run them to the middle, good to go. I still got to take these 12-bolt lines out of here. You have to grind them off because there's some metal there. Now we have a 2500 drive line in here. Sorry, it's a little dark, but it is what it is. Here we go. For the U-joint, it does take a aftermarket U-joint. This is a 2500 drive line, not your average 1500. It's a little bigger. So I had to search and figure out what U-joint to get, and I have the part number for you. If you're going from a 2500 drive line to the newer 12-bolt rear end, Neapco makes the U-joint. It was the only company, I think, that makes it, so it's kind of rare. The part number is 2-1435. Show you right there. And yeah, it's pretty cheap, not super expensive, but if you don't have that, you're kind of screwed. So the 12-bolt has a super wide U-joint. It's way wider than the 10-bolt, and even the 14-bolt and the 2500, it's wider than that. So that was probably the hardest part to figure out, because no one's really done this. So but yeah, pretty basic setup. I'm gonna get it all dialed in, tighten everything down, and try to get this thing ripping and go for a drive. So we'll see how it does. Got the old 110 doing an oil change here. This bike is pretty sweet. 2023. It's got electric start, and it's got kickstart here as well. Pro circuit exhaust there, T6, looking fresh. Braden wants to rip it, so do an oil change and go for a rip. You like that, huh? Sounds pretty good. It's like a CRF 50, but just bigger. I don't know if you guys have ridden or owned CRF or XR Z50s. They just go forever, and I'm hoping, you know, they have the same setup on these, because this is a really nice bike, and it's actually got EFI, so no carb, and but the rest of it, you know, it looks like it's built to last, so we'll see. 4-speed, no clutch. I usually like the clutch, but for a bike like that, it's kind of nice just to putt around with no clutch and take the kids for rides, or, you know, anybody can ride it, so it's kind of cool. I don't think you guys realize how excited I am to rip the LBZ truck with a 12 bolt. Like, I knew the 10 bolt was in there, so I was pretty nervous about breaking it, but now we got a 12 bolt, boys and girls. So hopefully I can get this thing all wrapped up and I can take it for a rip and actually, you know, not be afraid of blowing an axle and launching a tire off of there. So I'm excited. Rear end doesn't make any noise, so pretty stoked about that. I put the 20 by 10 BMF Novocaines on there for now. I don't think I'm going to keep them, but I got to swap tires on the 12, so BMFs it is. But yeah, really excited to finally get to rip this thing. And I think I'm actually going to go buy some bigger tires. I have a tire for the 12s that's a little bit bigger than this, but I honestly think I'm probably going to raise the front up another inch or two to level it out, and then run some, like, I don't know, 305/45 or 305/50 on the 12s. This is a 265/45, so it's just a little bit too small. I'm kind of scraping if I hit like gnarly bumps and stuff. So with that being said, subscribe to the channel and we will catch you on the next one.